What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Nerf Ultra Pharaoh, an Ultra sniper rifle. This blaster in the Ultra series is a magazine-fed, spring-powered bolt-action sniper rifle. Let's get into the review. Included is the blaster, magazine, detached priming handle, gold darts, and the instructions. External overview of the Pharaoh, starting up at the front. Of course, there's no in-strike barrel lug. This is an Ultra blaster, but it does have a very intimidating, cool-looking muzzle brake. Behind that is a front sling mount here, and under here we have an in-strike tactical rail. And this rail has two attachment notches, one here and one here, so you can move the attachment and it'll lock into place. Up on the top, we have a fancy-looking scope. This is a permanently affixed scope. You can't get it off unless you used a hacksaw or something. It's permanently built in there. The scope doesn't magnify or help you aim. It's a traditional Nerf scope, just there for the lulz. However, it is mounted extremely low down to the blaster, so you really have to smash your face into the blaster to even get your eye level with it. Because it's not removable, there's no way to adjust it or change it. You just have to put up with it. Below the scope is the priming handle. This is a bolt-action sniper rifle. So to prime, you lift the bolt handle up and then pull back. You can push forward and then lower it. It has a super long bolt travel, and the power required is actually lighter than I was expecting, especially given the blaster's power output. That might be because it's so long. But it's a smooth prime and a very satisfying bolt action feel. To have that real bolt action feel, you need to be able to lift it up like that and then pull it back, as opposed to the long shot, which is just pulling straight back. However, if you leave the bolt handle up like this, the blaster does not change in performance at all. I chronographed it and I did an accuracy comparison, and leaving the bolt up does not change the performance. It may appear to do so because when you pull the trigger, the bolt actually moves back a little bit. However, the dart has already left the chamber before that actually happens, so it does not affect performance. What this means is if you don't care about the bolt action and you're just trying to spew foam as fast as possible, you don't have to lower it. So you can just pull it straight back and forth just like a long shot. But if you're going for the sniper feel, you have to put the bolt up and down. It just feels way better. It feels like a proper bolt gun. So you can do it either way. There's no change in performance. And again, that draw weight feels comfortable and it's a pretty smooth action. And now down to the magazine. To get the magazine out, you have to pull the bolt back and then strike the magazine release, which is here and also on the left-hand side of the shell here, which allows you to remove the magazine. This is the included magazine. It is the first of its kind, but hopefully they use a standardized mag if they continue the Ultra series. And the included magazine holds 10 Nerf Ultra darts. As you can see, half of it is painted clear, sort of a smoky clear, and then the other side is yellow, with not a flick of yellow in the entire blaster. I'm really not sure why they chose that color. You could have chosen gold, white, black, orange, literally any color that's already on the blaster. So it doesn't match. It looks a little weird, but whatever. But that is the included magazine. Just to remind you, this is an Ultra blaster, not a standard in-strike blaster. So this is not compatible with your Nerf Elite darts, and this magazine well is not compatible with any Nerf magazines out on the market right now. But the magazine well is designed pretty well, so the magazine slides in and out with minimal effort. Above the magazine on the left-hand side of the shell is the access door. To get in here with the bolt back, you can just lift up on it, which would allow you to get your finger in there to clear out some types of jams and malfunctions. However, I did not experience any jams and malfunctions with this blaster. But it's good to have just in case, along with the unjamming button right here. So after you prime the blaster, you're not able to prime it again. Sometimes you need to double prime in order to clear out jams and malfunctions. This button overrides that lock, allowing you to do so. But to restate, I did not experience any jams and malfunctions with this blaster. And now down to the trigger. The trigger pull is pretty standard. This blaster does not have slam fire. And now down to the grip. In general, this grip feels very similar to other Ultra grips. However, it feels like an oversized version of it. In general, I don't really like the Ultra grips, but this one is fairly comfortable because it's oversized. It doesn't have that weird bit of plastic kind of jutting into your hand, which I complained about in other Ultra blasters. But it is a thumbhole stock, so it feels a bit more cramped than some, but in my opinion, it's an okay grip and it works pretty well. And back in the stock, there's a slot to hold an extra magazine right here. So it slides in much like a magazine slides into a magazine well, but it's there just as a spare. The system is just like the old long shot. It stays in place pretty well, yet it is very easy to pull out when you need it. That's a great use of space. If you don't like it, just don't use it. But if you're able to purchase more magazines eventually, it might be pretty tactical. And in the back, we have a sling mount right here. But take note of the length of the stock. I'm a big dude, and this is a big blaster, and I really appreciate it. It feels much, much bigger than a Retaliator, even a stockade stock. It's an oversized blaster. That is an external overview of the Nerf Ultra Pharaoh. Let's see it fire. Shooting regular black Nerf Ultra darts. Now I'm cycling the bolt without lowering it. And shooting left-handed to go as fast as I can. Operating the Ultra Pharaoh was a surprising amount of fun. I did not think I was going to like this blaster, but using it is quite a blast. It has a very satisfying bolt action. It has the click down as opposed to the long shot in the Centurion, which is not an essential mechanical element for how a Nerf blaster operates. A real firearm sort of needs that locking bolt. Nerf guns don't. The mechanics do not transfer directly, but it's really satisfying to have it. It really feels like a bolt action sniper rifle, and you have that vibe, and this whole blaster is obviously designed to give you that emotional response. And I experienced that emotional response. I own a bolt gun. I've shot plenty of, quote, sniper rifles, and it feels very similar. In the motion, in the mechanics, obviously not everything's the same. It's not a gun. And I did not experience any jams and malfunctions using this blaster. So overall, a pretty fun play experience. To compare this blaster to other Ultra blasters on the market, I put it up on my chronograph, and I achieved an average velocity of 102 feet per second with Nerf Ultra darts. So it's shooting pretty hard, among the fastest within the Nerf Ultra series. So that is the objective information I can provide on this blaster. Now to my personal opinion. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the Nerf Ultra Pharaoh. I think it does a very good job at specifically what it is trying to do. It's trying to elicit the emotional response of feeling like you're in the sniper role, and for that, it does a very good job. The bolt cycles smoothly, and it has a very satisfying feel. It feels like you're using an actual bolt, unlike the long shot, the Centurion, and some other Nerf blasters where you're merely pulling it back and forth. With this blaster, you have to lift up, pull back, push forward, and lower, like you're using an actual bolt-action sniper rifle. The bolt action, plus with the overall ergonomics and oversize, makes this feel like you're using a Nerf equivalent of like a Barrett 50 cal, like an oversized mega gunner, which is really satisfying, and the performance is actually superior to Nerf Elite blasters on the market right now. If you buy the Nerf Fortnite sniper rifle, it performs just like all the other Elite blasters. You could buy the Mega Centurion, but that's not going to give you a performance boost. If you're using the Ultra Pharaoh in a stock class dart war, you can actually fill the sniper role in a way, because you'll be able to outgun people with Nerf Elite blasters. This thing shoots much harder than those. If you're playing with modders, if you're playing with Rival, or if you're playing with other Ultra blasters, obviously that's a different story. But in my opinion, this is the first blaster that actually makes sense to try to play in the sniper role. Now, I don't think that's going to work for everyone, and especially not in every war and environment and stuff, but it's a possibility. So my overall opinion on this blaster is pretty positive. It does exactly what it's trying to do. No jams and malfunctions, solid firing performance, and it has a really satisfying bolt feel. That being said, it's obviously not for everyone, so to buy or not to buy. If you're a competitive Nerfer, it would be hard to argue that this is actually a war practical blaster. I would make the argument you'd be more effective with a Strife shooting at a much higher rate of fire, even if your range is not quite as good as this Ultra blaster. The logistics of infantry compared to sniper don't really transfer from the firearm world into the Nerf world. A real-life sniper can shoot 4 or 5 times longer than an infantryman. This only shoots maybe 10 or 15% further than a Nerf Elite blaster. That's not a substantial enough change to really have a competitive edge in that sniper role. You're not going to be able to hang out in a ghillie suit and take people out from, 900 feet. That's just not going to happen. But if you're plinking and you're having fun and you just want a sniper-feeling blaster, this is, in my opinion, the best sniper rifle that Nerf sells, because it actually performs better. It's really like a high-caliber blaster in the Nerf world. In comparison to the Nerf Longshot, the recent Fortnite sniper rifle, or the Mega Centurion, those don't really add anything to our hobby. This actually fills a new role that has not previously been filled by any Nerf blaster to my knowledge. So if you're a plinker looking for a, quote, sniper rifle, I would actually recommend you look into this one. That being said, I have a couple complaints. I'm a professional reviewer. If I don't have complaints, I'm not doing my job thoroughly enough. First, non-removable scope? Like, what year is it? We need our tactics, Hasbro. Why did you do that? It would be awesome to take a gold scope off and put that onto like a Strife or a different blaster. And more importantly, honestly, I want to be able to take this scope off. This scope is way too close to the blaster. It really needs to be lifted up almost an inch. You can only look through it if you totally smash your face like horizontally against the blaster, which is just super uncomfortable. Nerf scopes have sort of done this in the past, but they've been removable. I just want to be able to slide this off and look down the Instrike Tactical rail like I normally do. I'm really not sure why they molded the scope to the blaster, but I really wish they didn't. Second, which is a super minor complaint, I don't understand why they painted the magazine yellow. This blaster has no other yellow in the whole blaster. It just has white, black, orange, and gold. And then they're like, hey guys, let's pick yellow for the first magazine in the Ultra series. They've done signature magazines with Doomlands and pretty much every series out there. It would not have been challenging for them to use black, white, orange, gold, literally any color that's already present in this blaster. But no, they just went completely off the charts, so it doesn't match. It just kind of bugs me. Admittedly, that is a pretty insignificant complaint, and I get that it's not a big deal. But that goes to show that I'm pretty satisfied with this blaster. Other than the scope being non-removable, I like everything. I really dig how big it is. They really made this grip bigger than the other Ultra grips, which I heavily complained about. It seems like they got the same design and just sort of made it a little bit larger in every dimension. So it's pretty welcoming to my fully grown hand, and I think it would be comfortable for almost everybody. This is a pretty large blaster, so if you're under 13 or 14, it might be a little too much for you. But I think that's what they were going for. I think they wanted it to feel like the Nerf equivalent to a Barrett 50 cal, which is a gigantic, heavy blaster. So if you're not 6'4" and 220 pounds, this might be a little bit more difficult to move around. But I do have to praise the smooth operation of this blaster. I've been complaining a lot about Nerf lately because they've really just been dropping the ball lately. So it's nice to see one that actually works well. The bolt cycles smoothly and it feels very cool. It gives you that emotional response of using a sniper rifle. Magazine insertion is smooth, everything fires smoothly, everything works smoothly. So overall, surprisingly satisfied with the Nerf Ultra Pharaoh. But that concludes my review and opinion of the Nerf Ultra Pharaoh. Hopefully I've laid out all the information for you to make an educated purchase decision on your own. If you'd like to buy one, I'll put a purchase link in the description box below. That concludes this video review. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.